around the world today, the swamp struck back. The swamp, that great soggy bog of the political and media elites, an international sort of elite that cannot give up power to the people. In Britain, 11 Supreme Court judges have told Prime Minister Boris Johnson he acted unlawfully in shutting Parliament for 5 weeks, and a rump of MPs in Parliament is stopping him from calling an election to sort it all out. I'll discuss that showdown later with Brendan O'Neill. But let's talk here about the other example today of the swamp striking back, Donald Trump. Now, Trump made a big promise at the last election.
We are going to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C. We're draining the swamp.
But that swamp has tried its damnedest to drain Donald Trump instead. We've already had 2 years of fake news that Trump colluded with Russia to steal the election. Totally fake news, fed by leaks from the FBI, hyped by a furiously hostile media, including our own ABC, I might add. Well, as you know, that fake story finally collapsed this year with the Special Investigators report. But now the Democrats and the media, they've jumped onto another gotcha. Or who knows, maybe they just jumped onto a landmine. This time they're screaming that Donald Trump colluded with, no, not Russia, Ukraine to steal the next election by asking his president to investigate whether Democrat frontrunner Joe Biden was involved with his son in corruption there. Now, Democrat leader Nancy Pelosi, the House Speaker, says that's now grounds for an impeachment inquiry into Trump, because the Democrats would love Trump sacked rather than try to beat him fair and square in an election they think they'll lose.
The actions of the Trump presidency revealed the dishonorable fact of the president's betrayal of his oath of office, betrayal of our national security, and betrayal of the integrity of our elections. Therefore, today, I'm announcing the House of Representatives moving forward with an official impeachment inquiry. The president must be held accountable. No one is above the law.
How did she get those eyebrows so far up her forehead? Anyway, Trump has in fact admitted that he did mention Biden to Ukraine's president in a call to congratulate him on his own election win.
Didn't put any pressure on them whatsoever. You know why? Because they want to do the right thing, and they know about corruption, and they probably know that Joe Biden and his son are corrupt.
Now, whether the Democrats can actually get enough Republicans in the Senate to impeach Trump, well, that's very doubtful. But they'll try to make Trump seem illegitimate. There's plenty of media around to help them there. But the trouble is, Trump says he will release a transcript of his call with Ukraine's leader tomorrow. So this could turn out very quickly to be another nothing story. Anyway, we'll see then just whether he did pressure Ukraine into going after Biden, which I have to say would be wrong. But I do think, regardless, there is a much bigger chance of this backfiring all over the Democrats, of this blowing up Joe Biden for a start. Because let me tell you some stuff about Biden and his son Hunter that many of the Trump-hating media don't really want to highlight just now. And that Trump, you see, that Hunter, his son, hasn't just struggled with drink and drug addiction. In fact, even the New Yorker, which is of the left, was asking earlier this year just how it was that Biden's son managed to get himself onto the board of a corrupt gas company in Ukraine, earning himself, by the way, $50,000 US a month. And that when he had zero experience in the gas industry. But shall I tell you what he did have back then? He had a daddy who was Vice President of the United States. Father Joe was head of the Obama administration's drive against corruption in the Ukraine. And doesn't that sound a bit shonky to you as well? I mean, talk about the swamp. And not only that, Joe Biden, as Vice President, told Ukraine back then it had to sack its top prosecutor, who was investigating, guess what? That gas company that was paying Biden's son. Joe, Senior Biden, said Ukraine had to sack that prosecutor or the US was going to kill a $1 billion worth of loan guarantees to Ukraine.
Look, I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a got fired.
Now, let me be fair. We do fair and balanced here. Other international organisations also wanted that prosecutor fired. They thought he was going very soft and maybe was corrupt himself, and that the investigation into that gas company was a sham. But the man himself says, no, he really was going after that company and its owner. Whatever. Check out the look. Here was Biden's son on the board of a Ukrainian company when his father was at the head of a US efforts in Ukraine to clean up exactly that kind of outfit. How do you think that looks? And that's not even all. Hunter Biden also travelled to China with his father, the vice president, and did a side deal on that trip for his own business. Wow. Now, no one has any evidence that something that looks probably to you and to me shonky and improper actually involved real corruption. But when did that sort of thing stop Trump from blasting the Democrats or Joe Biden?
It's just a Democrat witch hunt. Here we go again. They failed with Russia. They failed with recession. They failed with everything. And now they're bringing this up. What he did is a disgrace. What his son did is a disgrace. The son took money from Ukraine. The son took money from China. A lot of money from China. China would love to see. They could think of nothing they'd rather see than Biden get in.
Where this ends, I don't know. But in a mud fight, I'd back Trump any day. And I mean, voters, they must be absolutely sick of seeing an elite try to get rid of an elected president. So, whatever. I just think you might like to know the background behind all those screaming headlines. Trump tries to collude with Ukraine to steal the next election. There is actually a swamp in Washington, and Trump has just stirred those filthy waters. Hear those alligators roar.